Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I can hear you. Are you a barber?
Yes,
All
I'm a
right, all right.
stylist.
You're a barber.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, Submission. Good afternoon.
Greetings.
Yeah, see, I've been in comment section. I've listened to you, and I've seen that you have a different perspective to Islam, which I think mainstream Islam will oppose. So I think you are the best person to ask some kind of question because I think you will answer with some kind of honesty. Because I see you don't follow the indoctrination or because when I listen to your engagement with Ansu, um I can only hear Ansu saying what people have told him, but I can hear you saying things that you have researched on. Am I right?
You're right.
All right. So I have this first question. If you had been born into another religion with the same level of conviction, what method will you use to prove you are wrong and Islam is right? Or Islam is wrong or you are right?
All right. I think we as a people, we don't actually understand when God is talking and God said, God is talking about Muslims or Islams. Once you submit to God, you are a Muslim. That is an Arabic word for submit. So it might be in a religion that a human being observed to be Christianity or Judaism or whatever. But the goal there is you submit to the Almighty God. That is the
So
goal.
so what you are insinuating is that mainstream Islam is like misunderstanding what the doctrine should be, right? Or how to
Yes,
submit.
it is actually misleading because
Okay.
someone is speaking Yoruba and is submitting to the same Almighty in a Yoruba tongue. Because I am the one that uses Arabic, I will not assume that is not a Muslim. That analogy is false. Is
But
false.
but what if someone doesn't follow the like the can somebody be a Muslim without doing all these five rakat prayer, all these procedures, all these doctrine, but as well submit to God, but not the practical
Yes,
practice?
yes, you can be.
Okay.
You can be a Muslim, but
All right. So
you're not let me just finish. You can be a Muslim, but you are not entitled to be called a believer.
okay, so what are you now?
I'm a submitter and I'm also a believer because I follow the doctrines in the Quran.
You said what? Sorry.
I, I'm a Muslim and I'm also a believer because I follow the doctrines in the Quran.
Yeah, but we can see that other Muslims they have a very different opinion about you, about the way you see perspective and your own doctrine. They are against it. So, what do you have to say about? Is it like they are the ones like not understanding, or you are the one just being an extremist?
All right, in my position, they are called mushrikins. They associate partners with God. They are mushrik. And associating partners with God simply means that you take command from external source and put it in God's religion. You take that command and you said God said, whereas God never made such command. God never gave such command. So it is called mushrik in the light of the Quran, like attributing partners with God.
So, why do other Muslims who also claim to understand this religion, why don't they have a proper understanding to it like this?
The reason why it is like that is it's because of it is actually what God has designed to be that way. God has already, put forth in words, and we are going to be enemy with ourselves. We are going to, find every means to, argue and fight among ourselves. It is designed by God because if you read the Quran 67 from 2, where God said He created death and life in order to test us and see who is going to do better. We can conclude that this is all about God test to, test mankind in different ways to see who is going to, come out strong and upright.
So, sorry, I have a question. Which version of Islam are you following? Because we can both agree that we have disagreements among scholars about even Islam and the doctrine itself. So even though we have mainstream, but can you let us know like the version you follow, like the doctrine you follow?
In Islam, there is nothing like version. Just obey God's command, and that is what Islam means. That is what submission is.
So
Just obey
anyone who
God's
is doing
command.
anything
That is
above
what
it is
Islam
an
means.
extremist or someone that's not following the true doctrine.
For you to know what is true, you have to follow what is being conveyed to you from your Lord. So if you don't follow what is being conveyed to you from your Lord, you are not following the right way. But if you stick to what the book said, which is what God conveyed to his prophet and his messenger spread it, I believe you're following the truth.
Okay.
Irrespective of how people may see it, how people may condemn you, if you stick to what is there in the book, you are following the
Okay,
truth.
okay, my bro. So is it like there is some part of the Quran that you guys don't accept, or it's like some kind of places that you accept and you don't accept of some kind of place? Like, do you accept the story about Muhammad and all these kind of things, like the things he did and his doctrine and the fact that he is the best example for mankind? Like, do you follow this doctrine?
One, there is nowhere in the Quran where God said Muhammad is the best example for mankind. There
But
is
of
nowhere.
course, we have heard it so many times on this panel from Muslims that it is said that Muhammad is the best.
It is because of they are being biased. They exaggerate a lot. God specifically said in the prophets is a good example for those who seek the face of God and who seek the year after. So being a good example was specific if you seek the face of God and the year after. It is not in all aspects of life. A good example, not best. It is a good example. So you can see how human beings exaggerate words, put words that are not there, and claim this is what God said. God never said Muhammad is the best example. He never said that in any way.
So why do you still believe in like Islam? Because to me, you have a different ideology to what Islam really is and what we know Islam to be. Even me personally, to what I know Islam to be about. So why don't you just find another name for yourselves? Because I don't think
No, no,
mainstream
no, no, no,
Islam
no.
will accept this.
We cannot find another way for us, for ourselves, because God said in Quran 3, I think it's 18 or 16, where God said the religion on the side of God is Islam. And what God is saying that is there is the religion in the sight of God is submission. So we should understand that what God wants from us is for us to submit to his will. So the ideology there is this: when the verse said the religion in the sight of God, the religion there is what can bind us with God is for us to submit to Him. That is just a simple explanation of that word. What can bind? Religion simply means to bind. So what can
Okay.
bind us to
In
the
your own
Creator is
in your
when
own
we submit and
I have
obey
little
Him.
time. I have little time. So in your own paradigm, how do you submit to God? How do you think we can submit to God?
All right. The only way we can submit to God is when we know the do and don't do of the Creator Himself, and when we abide to the do and don't do of the Creator. That is the only way you can submit to Him.
So according to your point of view now, so why should okay, let's say me for example now, okay, let me just go directly with my question. So why should someone that is born outside that cultural sphere of Islam be judged for not accepting a message that is rooted in like 7th century Arabia and is not even in his own language or culture? Why should he be like judged for that? Like why?
If you read the Quran very well, you'll see that even if you refuse to believe in what is being given to Muhammad, as long as you do good and you try as much as possible to follow what is being given to your own people, you follow it, you will have your reward with God.
So
I'm going to be lying if I tell you that because you don't believe in Muhammad, you will go to hell. No, I'll be wrong if I say that. If you read the Quran very clearly and with understanding, God used the likes of the Christians, the Jews, the Sabians, who do good and believe in the hereafter, that they are going to get their reward from their Lord. You get your
so
reward.
so
Yeah.
why do you choose to follow that path? Because if I can observe from the way you speak, I don't
Yeah,
think you
I
are
choose
someone.
to follow that path because it gives me more clarity. It
Okay,
gives
is
me
that
a
is
better
that the only
guidance.
path that you feel can give you more clarity? And why is that path the path that resonates with you more? Why is it that one that you choose?
I choose to follow it because it gives me more clarity and more guidance.
Are you saying others cannot give you that clarity that you get in
Can you hear
Islam?
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Like, are you saying like the clarity that you get in Islam, you cannot get that same clarity in others, in other parts?
Okay. The reason why I said it is because I felt in the little understanding I have is, and in fact, there is more clarity about who God is in the Quran. And it is something that the more you meditate with the book every day, you get more clarity. You cannot know it even, you cannot know about God even after life. You cannot get all knowledge about God even after life, even in paradise. It is the little He wants us to know that we are going to know. But the Quran itself, in my perspective, gives more clarity. In fact, I understand who God is much more better than my I'm a Yoruba person, than my traditional belief. And
So
I believe that Allah and the Olodumare is one and the same. There's no difference. There's no
so
difference.
so are you saying you are acknowledging your
The difference there
belief?
is just language.
Yeah,
There's no
but
difference in.
but do you think there are some things that in your like in your cultural values, it won't align with Islam, or it won't correlate with what Islam believes in? Like, do you think if you can?
Yes, yes, there are some things, yes, definitely. Because God said in the Quran that He sent messengers to all nations. Like the Yoruba nation, they have their messengers and they
Okay,
have what has been given to them. So
okay.
if I choose to follow the path of the Quran, it might be in opposition in some of the doctrines that is given to the Yoruba people. Just like what is being given in the Quran, there are some that is in opposition to what was being given to the people of the Jewish background, to the people, to the children of Israel. Yes,
So
there
so
might be an opposition to it. Yes.
so what you are saying is that there are a lot of correlations with your cultural values and what you came to see in Islam, and it gives you more clarity on those.
Yes. But
Okay.
one other thing we should take note is there is totally difference between the culture and the religion with God.
So sorry,
What
sorry,
a lot
sorry,
of
sorry, sorry. Hold on. You said God sends a messenger to every region and every culture of
so yes to
so
all, yes.
so why do you think the messenger of God to your own culture is not enough for your culture, but you have to put the messenger of another culture, which is not your own culture, over the one of your culture?
No, I don't put it over. The real issue is here is you. It is difficult to identify. I'm talking about this current time. It is difficult to identify the messenger of our own culture because we have been a people that has been defeated. When I mean defeated, we have been colonized and given a different perspective. And for us to, we don't even have a conclusive
Is it
knowledge.
because maybe you might have not done an extensive research about your own
No,
origin
no,
or
no,
your
no.
own?
I have, and I can tell you from my bloodline, I can tell you that we follow the path of Obatala,
So
and I can still tell
now
you,
let me use my remaining 30 seconds. I think there's a verse in the Quran that God will not send a messenger to a place or like a vicinity without that messenger understanding the language of the people he's being sent to. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
So if Muhammad doesn't understand your own cultural language, why do you think you should follow his own doctrine? Because it's clearly not sent to you.
The doctrine that is given to Muhammad is not his